Hello, welcome. So we are going to do this. I haven't actually looked at this for quite some time, but since I started working on it. But basically what I want to cover is fixing the issue with server-side logs. So we have let's see, where is it? We have this. We have this. This is the issue. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in here and pin it because that's what we're going to be working on. Okay. Hey, lots of nice people. It's Frozen Spirit, Brocard, Anurag, Chanakya. Hello, I've not said hi yet. And Sivetjens. Nice to see you. Okay, so this is quite an old issue. I opened this, I think, March 22. Crazy, that's 2 years ago. We had this in Nuxt 2, but we don't yet have it in Nuxt 3. And basically, if you're logging something in on the server side, you'll see it in your console, but you won't see it in your actual browser, which means that some of these things can escape you. Hey, Alex, nice to see you, and Mehmet, good, welcome. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at today. I made a start of this, got quite far actually. I think that's my recollection, but we'll find out because I've just unstashed these changes, and in fact, let me just quickly rebase on main. And yeah. There we go. Cool. Okay, so we are ready to go. And we have, so these are the changes that I made. Daniel Rivers, good to see you. Hope it helps. I think it will, yeah. Okay, so this is basically what I'm doing. I'm starting with just the playground in the Nuxt repository. It's a good place to try stuff out. And I'll just fire up our dev server. And let's open localhost. Okay, so here we go. It's this, you can ignore that really. Everything that we're going to do for the most part is going to be in the console, and also maybe we'll have some toasts pop up as well, which I only just started looking at, I think, when I made my last commit. So this is it working. We have our app.view, and it's doing some logs. So we're having a console error, which happens just everywhere. So that will occur in the server. We have a console log that will also occur on the server. We have console warn, which is here, and that is actually only occurring on the server. And then we're fetching API test, and that also does a console log in a server handler. Okay, so we've got these four. Now on the client side, the console error that happens on server and client happens. The console log that happens on server and client happens. And then we have two SSR logs that didn't happen on the client. So we have console warn on the server, and we have a log in a server handler, and those are both being pulled across, which I think is cool, right? And so what we do, it's actually just a plugin, a Nitro plugin here, which is wrapping the console log object, and is basically taking things across. I think also we ought to consider whether there might be something useful here in. So on the server, we can actually locate the file name that is actually doing the logging, which you don't normally see in your console. And I think we ought to include that in when logging stuff on the server as well. just so it's there too. Okay, so, and by the way, I have some to-dos here, which I should write down because there are some issues with the implementation at the moment. Okay, and now at the moment, obviously, we do have some issues here in that I am directly hard coding my path, but that will be easily solved once we move this into Nuxt and out of a demo project. So we have some to-dos. We have an issue here that, well, thank you. We have an issue that we are, so yeah, that's displaying properly. Okay, to do display file name in server log as well. Ideally, we should be able to click and open it in the same way that we can if we have the full file name here. We also probably use async context, but basically to detect which logs match the request. So at the moment, what we do is just anything that happens while the request is being carried out, do we proxy across? Because what we do is we collect the logs here, and then when the HTML is rendered, we push everything that has been logged. But that might be stuff that doesn't relate necessarily to that request. I think we also need to implement a WebSocket to stream logs to the client. So basically, as stuff is updated, as new logs occur, we sort of push them to the client, and then we display them in like a little toast at the bottom of the screen. That would be, I think, a nice experience. But I think that needs to be configurable. Okay, so how are we going to do this? I'm going to start moving this out of the plugin. I might leave it in a plugin, but I, at some point, would start moving it back into Nuxt itself, rather than just in a demo project. So this is pretty good. And we have a client plugin as well, which okay, why is that? It doesn't exist. We have it here. Next logs. Interesting. I'm just going to reload my window. This is often the case. Could we use HMR WebSocket? We could, although the potential issue there is that it's in a different context. So that would be, but yeah, that might be the best approach. But so we have the build and we have the runtime context, and the build context, like would we want to move build logs to the client as well? Because I'm just imagining this is capturing logs from the app itself, like the running, your code basically, not a module. And if we don't, well, it's a little bit more complicated if we are using the Vite HMR port. Well, what about Webpack? So I mean, ideally we want a solution that works with both Webpack and Vite and isn't too tied into it. And I think that HMR WebSocket is very specific. Like we could do a server sent events thing. That might be the easiest approach. Let's see. Okay, so we have, yeah, okay. Okay, so okay, I'm going to start moving this. So this bit here, am I also doing that here? Okay, yeah, cleaning up the stack trace. Hey JS and Majid, good to see you. You are not too late. You can see what we're doing. I've pinned the issue there, and I'm basically picking up some work in progress that I created, seeing if we can make this nicer. So Yeah. Okay, so if we think service and events, now I think Sebastian actually came up with an interesting demo for server sent events. Here we have it. This server sent event example. We'll try that. Things might have changed since this was last. Yeah. What is this? I'll try Sebastian's first off the bat. And yeah, exactly. Lots of appreciation for Sebastian there. Okay, so we'll try this. Yeah, we'll try this. Okay, so we'll create a little endpoint. This is, again, it's just a test type thing. We'll do logs. It won't be called that, obviously. Like I would conflict with a user project, but we'll try. Oh, for goodness sake. I think I disabled my user snippets, and I thought I was just going to disable them popping up, but in fact it's disabled them entirely, which isn't great. Oh, in fact I have the whole thing. Okay, so basically we want to. We're only going to add this in dev, so I think we can ignore that. Cool. And I think probably a readable stream would be a better approach. Well, I mean, okay, this is probably going to work fine, but because it's not in production, so we can probably rely on Node. Cool. Let's just check that this works. We'll do set event. Okay, well, I'll just do it like this. Set interval. Actually, this might not work anymore. Let's try that. Okay, let's hit the endpoint, and it should then keep sending me stuff. What is it? API logs. Yep. That is working. So like we're getting a stream of logs, which is cool. Stop it. So here we interesting. I mean, that I think I might need, when I clean this up, I might investigate using readable stream. Okay, and we won't do this. That's very frequent. And actually, probably I'll just restart the playground because set interval is definitely the wrong thing to run on a server. We do have to have a way of sending events, and so what we want is, so Sebastian's idea was to expose a hook, which is fair. And I think actually we can probably take all of this out and put it into the plugin. Because Nitro plugins can do a lot of things. They can add their own endpoints. So let's do that. We're going to do nitro app.router add, and we're going to call this logs. That's fair. And then we're going to have this be a, do I need to, just direct handler, okay. Paste the handler that we've got here. And what we're going to want to do at this point is we'll use the hook approach. So import create hooks from hookable. And then try this. We'll have const hooks is create hooks. And we'll say we're going to have a log event. Cool. And basically hooks, hook, log. We're going to send event. We'll pass data. We'll improve the typing on all of this later. Let's try. Why is that not working? What have I done? Create hooks. Next hooks looks like. I need to say that it's returning void. I think. Okay, so we now have a hook that should send me logs as they happen. So let's just hit that endpoint. Cool. And now I'm going to hit my main endpoint, and it's going to generate some logs. So hopefully we're going to get some messages start coming through. Nope. Okay. Why not? Oh, because we're never calling it. That would be why. So we need to call it. So basically, whenever we get a log, we'll do it up here. Okay. So whenever we get a log, we're going to call this hook. We're going to say hooks, call hook, log, log, and log object. Okay. And that's going to be non-blocking, I guess. Although we could await it. Normally you want to await a hook when you call it. But in this case, let's just try it again. So hit the logs endpoint and then hit the home page. Yeah, okay. So we've got logs streaming at this endpoint, which will be quite nice. So I think it still makes sense to wrap everything up in the initial bundle and then listen to the endpoint for future logs. Okay, so we can basically, what's that? We can basically do that in our client-side app. Give that a try. Yeah, okay. So we have, what do we have? We have our server here, and I'm just using ViewSonner to get, we'll probably have to do something slightly lighter weight. It's very lightweight, but I mean, we'll have to do something that doesn't have external dependencies. Let's see. We'd want to, Joaquin, hello. Joaquin is doing amazing work on Elk at the moment, upgrading it to the latest everything. Hugely appreciate that. And splitting stuff out into separate PRs, it's always a tricky thing to do, but thank you for that. Okay, so we basically want to stream future logs. So let's create an SSE connection in our next app here. And basically what we want to do is something like long-running SSE connection. And actually, let's see. Let's just see, what have they decided to do here with the client? I'm not sure that is a... client. Hey, nice to see you, Loxy. Okay. I am just Googling an example. I do this so much. Okay, I want to see this. Event source, of course. Okay. So basically, we need to create an event source and then listen for events. Cool. So let's try that. So we are going to hit our own endpoint, which I'm not sure whether we're going to need to pass the domain or not. We'll try that in a second. Source on message equals console log. Let's just see what that will do. And let's try that. And see what happens when I hit endpoint. Yeah, okay. Messages are coming through. So we have this, we have our data, which is JSON, which is great. So what we want to do is basically pipe that to the toast. So we've got our event, and what we want to do is say we should have event data available to us, and as what is it, log object. Have I typed anything yet in here? No, but it is basically this file. It's a log object, yeah. And we want to show it, so we're going to try this again. Let's just, well, we'll just copy that code for the moment because we're going to refactor that a little bit. Oh, and we're going to have to do all of this as well. So basically we want to say this also. So we're going to extract this in a second to a fresh utility. Okay, but I want to check that it's working. Okay, so basically we have our server, so we're up and running. We've got our Nuxt app in development now. We're triggering some more logs, and they're coming up on the screen. How about that? That's pretty cool, isn't it? Every time those logs are being printed out on the server console, they're showing up on the client. Okay, I love it. Refactoring required, right? Okay, so we're going to basically need like handle a log. So we'll have a like function handle a log, and we'll receive a log, which is going to be a log object, non-normalized. This will actually need to be within. Am I not? Okay. Okay. Anyway, it'll be out here. We'll have these toast types. We need to figure out how we're going to do that anyway. And then basically we will do this is what we're going to do. And then we're going to call that in here. And we'll just do the same up here. A lot more simply. Cool. And that should simplify our implementation quite a bit. And this is so simple that I think it's actually simpler to do that. Great. So that will... Now this does mean that ongoing logs are not going to be handled by consular. Leo, nice to see you. And Catalan, hello, nice to have you come. Goodness, what an honor. Okay, so cool. Seems to be going well. So for everybody just joining, what we have got at the moment is a Nuxt app. When you load it, we see some stuff printing out. Oh, have we lost some things? Yeah, we have, for some reason. Okay, we'll have to check that in a sec. But we should see that we've got some stuff. Oh, we're not logging it. Have I accidentally removed the actual bit where we log? I think I have. Let's see. Oh, rats. I've not got any Git history of this. Okay, what was I doing before? I'm just going to open up my Nuxt repo, and we're going to jump to the branch before I undid my thing. Yeah, I think I deleted the log bit. So basically, handle log should do logger.log, the log. And that probably means that the log does need to be inside the plugin because we've created the logger there. Okay. Let's see if that solves it. Ooh, hello. I hate flaky CIs. I mentioned that before. Last stream, I was going to solve this, but I ran out of time and went down a rabbit hole. Okay. Yeah, okay, they're showing up now. Good, excellent. But yeah, so we also have them showing up there. These are coming from the server. And then when we manually trigger more logs on the server side, they come through as well. Ooh, no, they don't. Okay, that's because dates have to be highlighted a little bit differently. So log, normally we do that with duster. Okay, let's just do that with duster, I think. No. I think we'll have to do that manually. Log date equals that. Let's do that. Beautiful. Okay, this is nice. Okay, so what do we need to do? So I think one of the things we need to work on is UI. Indeed, we created a stream on a stream, so we can read the stream while watching the stream. This is too deep. Okay. Well, okay, I'm just really happy with this, I guess. But I think we want these logs to come through and I think we want them to be a little bit more, a little bit more formatted. This is nice though, right? So this is, just to highlight the library that I'm using as a test bed here. It's called ViewSona. It's this. It's quite nice, very beautiful. The way they show up. They do disappear, but I guess that's fine because they'll be in the dev console. The important thing is that they show up and communicate to you that there was a log. You shouldn't need to dismiss them. I think that would be more annoying. Okay. Right, and we should get rid of some of the hard-coded stuff. And we should probably handle the, I think we should handle how they're consumed. So for example, in DevTools, you could see the logs come in or just be able to access like the last however many logs. So I think we should call some kind of hook. Ethan, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, the new place. The new place is going well. It's sunny outside. There's blue sky. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but like honestly, we can't really complain, can we? Cool. Right. What am I thinking? Okay. So the way that we want to subscribe. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like yeah, this weekend is going to be nice. Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Check it out. So everyone check out ViewSana. It looks, I'll paste it just so you've got the link. That. But it's nice, right? It's beautiful. Beautiful. We would want to do that anyway. So that is happening in, this is also happening in this, in app.view. England, Scotland, that would be great, right? Like in Scotland, having just moved up from England, there's no way this is going wrong. Yes, this is a new place. I'm in Edinburgh now. I was in Durham before. And I'm still occasionally back in Durham. So this isn't a sort of, but yeah, it's a beautiful city and I'm really delighted to be here. So basically we have injected a toast log here. I hear the sound. I think we might have someone join me in a moment. But currently we are Poland. Oh, I love Poland. It's a lovely place. Okay, I think we might have to take one little break. Who is it? Who is it? I'm on stream. Do you want to kind of say hello? And then go okay. Okay. There we go. There we go. Look, there you are.
What's this?
Ooh. That is a light, which I use at night if it's dark, but it is not dark right now. If you want, you can take it and play with it.
I want to turn.
It's that button at the top, that switch. I'll see you later.
Thank you. See you later.
So I think it's fair to say that the gadget won the day there. He is lovely. Okay, so at the moment we are using this component log toast, which is here. In fact, I could just put it in, but just so I can play around with it. So we basically want to give it some options. Yeah, he is. Oh, perfect. We can actually do it in the toast as well. Cool. So those are all just possible in the plugin. Okay, so we have this description class. Okay, we've got a class name, but again, that's not going to do much, really. Do we have a description style? What else do we have? Is this typed? Oh, I see. That's typed. We'll have to say it as like log. As, for goodness sake, as warning. As warn? Crazy. Okay, this probably needs to be, yeah, just as const, meaning that we can drop that and there we go. Log type, and actually, I think we might even be able to say, try this. It needs to be a record of log object type to key of toast. And that should mean it just, yeah, and that will then constrain it. So, and it needs to be a partial, I guess. And in this case, I think we probably want to use satisfies. Like that. There we go. Nope. Let's try this instead. Okay, there we go. Nope. We still need the const. Is he hunting for ghosts? Do you know what's going on? Okay, what's the issue? It might be undefined. I think the point is, oh. Though we have a fallback. I think we're going to ignore that. So basically, let's see if satisfies will work instead. Yeah, no. And let's just see whether doing that works. Yes, okay, so we don't need the as const. Yeah, partial is the problem because it makes it possibly undefined, which is true. It is possibly undefined. The issue is that in this case, I am expecting that it will fall through to toast. Like it's fine if it's not defined. What I would like is for, rather than throw an error, I would like TypeScript just to mark that this whole thing is maybe undefined. Feels like a better choice, but... okay, so we basically have... Yeah, okay, so we basically now have some... oh, I see. Log additional is not always available, probably. It's probably only available in certain log types. So we've got basically external toast. Oh no, we probably want to limit it a little. Let's just say that's weird. I think maybe something like this. Will that be good enough? Like I know we do want to constrain it. Rats. We want to constrain, but it can't just be all of the keys of toast because it has a lot of other options. We want to constrain it to just some of them. So maybe, but by that point, you might just do it as a I think at this point, I think we just do it as const maybe, like that, and then. Is it not? Is it coming? Rats. Let's try that. So now, oh, for goodness sake. What? What? What is it complaining about? I am just going to say this for now, which is terrible, but it'll move it on, I guess. So what do we have? We have, there's no description now, but I think it was working. So I think the problem is that description is only usable in certain situations. So we have a warning. So what do we accept? We accept. So why is that not working? Oh, it's not working, I think, because Just info, log. That's very weird. I think we probably need something. I'll try it again. Key of type of toast, and it probably has a better option here. And if we then, and let's make it not partial. Let's genuinely type everything. So we want to have debug. We want to have info. No, we don't. Success. Info. Error. Fatal. Oh, there is a success. Nice. What do we have? I'm sorry, people. Okay, verbose. Do we have a verbose option? Info. Fail. Ready. I feel that's not the same. Do we have some kind of loading thing? Start trace. Okay, we'll just say, oops. We'll map them all to info. And let's see if that's changed anything for us in our project. Ooh, why is that coming across? Oh, because we've passed some styles. And yeah, I'm still curious as to why description isn't showing up or why it's not working. Description is needed for... Okay, oh, the problem wasn't that it was not in the thing, it was that it was... it was the wrong type. Okay, so we don't need these classes, but what I want to know is if we have like a description class, if we have, sorry, a description style. No, we only have one style. Okay, that's a little bit limiting, but we can cope with it. And I guess if we have, we're injecting this via component, we can customize the styles in different ways. Okay, so what is like the Nuxt DevTools stylings? So I think that's probably what we want to match. Black. Is this also true if we change our system appearance? No, they go white. It's very bright, isn't it? We'll go hard code it for the moment. Cool. Beautiful. Okay, that's much nicer. Or like it fits much more with the default Nuxt stylings, and I'm sure we can get someone like Anthony to improve the style, or someone else here maybe. Okay, let's just let's see if we can extract this out, because I've got a bit distracted with crazy TypeScript errors, TypeScript like types. Okay, so we basically have this option of that. We need to handle the okay, the normalization. I think we can normalize things. So this basically pulls out the file names. Okay, let's make that. And we were doing that with log stack. It needs to be a string, so like that. Return. Cool. And let's actually just rename it. So. Okay. Excellent. And actually, this is more like a normalized log function. Oh, for goodness sake. This is the autosave in my thing, which basically normalize log. And we're doing stuff to the log, so we probably want to spread it anyway. Okay. Now this is just one way of handling this. So in fact, there are two ways of handling this. Here we have a toast, and we also have a, we're also logging it in the console. These are actually different things. So the normalized server log probably shouldn't be called there. So we want to do instead, we're going to call a hook on Nuxt app, and we're also going to declare it. So we're going to declare module app, and we're going to have what Nuxt interface Nuxt. What's it? Nuxt hooks. Nuxt runtime hooks. Runtime Nuxt hooks, and they come from app. Okay. So runtime Nuxt hooks is going to have this new hook called server logs, dev. What are my hooks? So we've got app mounted, page loading, app mounted, something like maybe dev logs, and it's going to receive log object, and it's just going to, there we go. So basically what we want to do, I think, is have two options. So here we are going to call the hook. We're going to say await, or just await Nuxt app hooks, call hook, what did I call it? Dev logs. Oh, I guess we call it with a bunch of logs, or do we call it with an individual log? Probably an individual log. No, I think we want to call this with the entire bunch of logs, and then we actually want to skip. So I think, yeah, it should take a bunch of logs. So what we're going to do is call the hook and pass all those logs to it. We might need to yeah. And we're going to subscribe. So we're going to say Nuxt app hook dev logs, and we basically want to do this. Like of the logs, we're going to handle them, and then we're going to clear it at the end, like that. Okay. we need to declare that this is a an array. Okay, so basically we have handle initial yeah, well, I think this is probably safe to do. So that's basically going to run every time. And in this case, we actually don't want to call handle log. We actually just want to log it like this. So, okay, I think, because I feel like we want to do two things. So we want to, we want to show ongoing logs in it. Or no, we want to show toasts, and we want to show logs in console. That's what we want. And so there's an initial set of logs, and there's ongoing. So our console wants to show logs in console. And that is basically, we're going to normalize it, and then we're going to log it. So we would just do something like this. We are just going to normalize it, and we're going to log it. So like that. So that's fine. Okay, that's going to show stuff in console. Both the initials, that's going to show ongoing stuff in console. The toasts, we want something similar. We're going to do something like this, except it's going to do this. Okay. Oops. This. Okay. So that's going to show toasts, and then this is going to show stuff in the console. And what we want to do is now both of these, we have to avoid the hydration logs, but we still want to call dev logs with everything. So I think we have to add this test for all of these cases. And we probably only want to do this if there's content in hydration logs. Like that. So, and we want to clear hydration logs at the end of the initial, like that. That makes more sense to me. Okay, so we basically have, we're calling them, we're clearing them. The reason we're normalizing a server log here is that we're like the dev tools, for example, won't want to display this info. Cool. Handle log is that. We want to do, oh, right, handle log, we call the hook at this point. So we basically do call hook. Okay. Great. So that is going to trigger both of them in our particular case. Cool. Okay, that's getting a little bit simpler. Get rid of that. We have our logger. So basically what we have our logger. We should have a hook. Oh, we're using Nuxtab. Okay, so we basically, these are the things, that's what we're going to show. And this is, okay, that's very, very simple and very straightforward, I think. And basically, we want this to be configurable, and we want other things to be able to hook into it, like DevTools, which I think this all works. Okay, so that is now possible. The Vite base is needed for normalizing them to be something that is clickable, and the root directory is needed for getting rid of like extra stuff. So this means we'll need to inject those with a build plugin. But that's easy. That's a last kind of step. We might want to move the whole toast thing into DevTools. I feel this is probably DevTools anyway, and that way we can use the DevTools kit UI library, which makes sense. Okay, but this is here just really to be a proof of concept, to show like we are showing a toast. They're appearing, the toast is being shown, ongoing logs trigger the toast to be shown again. Good. The only question is, do we want those toasts to show like when on client side? Oh, no, because they won't be shown on client side, I guess. We have yeah, only server stuff is passed through, right? So that's because we've stopped listening to logs on the client. Cool. So this is fine. Okay, so I think we can extract this out. We don't need that dependency. We don't need this. It's just to demo. Okay, we can have a look at the server. Oh, great job. So let me have a look. Is that a PR up to review? Lovely. Whoa, that is a lot. Is this, anyway. Okay, I'm going to review that a little bit. I mean, it looks great. I have questions about is hydrated, but that's probably 3.4 doesn't change anything. 3.3 still has the same hydration issues. With 3.4, that's finally being printed out. So I understand why you might be encountering that, and it does make sense to do that. I'll trust you. But yeah, I'll review that later. I mean, it's probably fine to go ahead and merge. Right. Okay. So basically, we have got, the server logs bit is the bit we need to give some attention to. So this is the Nitro plugin, and okay, we've got those down. I think the clickable file name in server log would be nice. We're using just a normal console log. And this probably needs to be when we support Consular itself, because it will be able to do it a lot more nicely. This server plugins is just for now, while this is in the playground. We'll be able to get rid of that, I think. Okay. Let's extract this bit, because this is a way of extracting a stack trace for a... Yeah. There's some sadness. I might need to go and extract stack trace. Okay. And so we're extracting the file name here. We'll make it a bit more descriptive. We'll make it just a stack, I think. Maybe you could just call it get stack. Okay. And here we basically want to normalize them. So this is just removing file URLs. I don't actually see that we need to remove file URLs. Maybe we do that within. We need that in. What is that doing? Oh, that's the line number at the end. I think I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get a cup of tea and I'm going to see what's going on with my little man. I'll be back soon, say 5 minutes. See you then. Okay, I'm back. Right, what am I saying? So I'm not sure we need to do this replacement at all here. Oh, no, I see. It's doing more than that. So it's removing that and that. It was just a bit confusing in the thing. Right, so the line number file, I guess it is fine. So what we'll do is we will do something like function, for goodness sake. Okay, function normalize file names, stack trace. And we will basically all right. Cool. So just to simplify things, oh, that's why I split it into two. So basically, for line numbers, remove line numbers and file protocol. Great. Okay, so basically what we have is a stack, which we do some stuff to, and that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, this all seems okay. And then this is send log messages to client via. Okay, nice. And we can call it, I don't know, Nuxt logs, make it more generic. We can have server logs client, and so we won't call that, we will call Nuxt logs. And I think we should also rename it from dev logs to dev SSR logs or something like that. Cool. Okay, this is starting to feel good. Yeah, starting to feel good. We could have, okay, where do we consume logs? There. So basically, I think we could simplify this maybe a little bit by doing this. Interestingly, we don't use logger anywhere, so it is just the logs we care about. So we could do something like a function create wrapped logger, or use wrapped logger, and basically do that. We need the hooks also. Wait a second, what are we doing with hooks? Okay, we're passing logs. I think what we could do instead is just pass a callback. Okay, so effectively what we want to do is use wrapped logger, and we are passing a callback which adds it to logs and calls a hook. And we create our logs up here instead. and we take a random callback that does callback is going to be log object. We just do that here. Beautiful. So I think that should I think we can try that instead here. Oh, the cleaning it all up. I guess we'd probably move all of this into the callback too. And we would call this something like onLog. Cool, Ponky, good to see you. Right, okay, so we now have something which is going to... Can a reporter be async? I have a question. Apparently it can be. Can it really? Interesting. Excellent. This feels straightforward. Pass any Okay, feels a lot more solid. I'm sure, by the way, that this will have some review or changes that we would want to make to it. But I think what we can now do is start moving this into Nuxt itself. So we have basically two files that are relevant, and we have our Nuxt core files here, and it already has some plugins. Oh, these are build time plugins. We're in the app, and we have plugins there. So what we're going to do is just copy them across. Server logs, I think I'll use the console here. Packages, Nuxt app, plugins. And we also want to copy playground server plugins to packages, Nuxt, source, app. We have renderer, which is in core. Packages, Nuxt, source, core, runtime, nitro. Okay. Oops, I should have moved those both. Oh, and I'll just, before I delete anything I don't intend to, I'll just put them there. We'll remove that change to Nuxt config. And we'll re-implement this very, very slightly. What we want to be able to do is show a toast in the playground to give an example of custom handling. So I'll just open up server logs here. Good. So we basically have that. We also need the server logs client, and that also needs some imports. That does not, I think that is basically from Lux. Cool. And oh, and then we need to remove the bit about the toast here, and also view Sana from there. Okay, so we're going to then take that back into the playground and do it in our log toast like this. So we should be able to do something like this. And we'll just ignore that bit. Oh, the normalized server log thing, we might have to handle that slightly differently. And we'll pull out all this stuff. Which is basically much more related to the toast than it is to this. Beautiful. And that's because we're not getting types at the moment, because we've moved them out, which we'll fix in a second. So weird. Okay, I'm just having to check what these paths are. We've got, sorry, where's our TS config? What is it? Plugin. Frustratingly, that is correct. I wonder if we could just pull out the Nitro app type from here. Oh. And just do this. Okay, that's probably fine for now. Okay, excellent. So what we have is, so I've dropped out the view Sauna stuff and popped that into the SSR logs. And this, I think, is fair. We're not going to show hydration logs in the toast. That'll just be in the console. This will be for ongoing stuff. Okay, that's fine. But we'll need to do the these things, because we have a nuxt-config.mjs template, which we write here, and that's where we're going to need to pass, I think, some of the stuff. We need the Vite base and the root directory. That's actually the build assets directory. That's what we care about, I think. Where are we? This is actually only for Vite. Webpack will be a little bit. We might ignore that for the moment. Like we could just not normalize the file names. So if we don't normalize them, they look, it does this. Is this even going to work? It's not working. Oh, we were not registering it. Okay, and that's before we do much more. Let's just register it. So we have got these other plugins. You've got, what's a good example? Check if layout used. So we stick it in here, and we can do something very, very similar with our new feature. If next options dev. I guess we can do it here as well. Add plugin. This is going to be server logs. And everything's safe there. I guess the main thing, like this, well, we'll do it. We'll probably add an if. We'll create an experimental option, I think. We might just directly set a feature. So we'll say SSR logs. If next options, experiment of features, SSR logs, then, and that really has to be we really don't want to enable that otherwise. You'll notice there's a type error, and that's because we have to, when we're making changes to the next schema, you have to rerun dev prepare, so we update it in our stub types. That's just to do with the, okay, so we basically add that. We also need to add a server plugin, which will be this one. Hello, hello. We are looking for a directory here. No, this is right. Okay. We're just going to have to do something very similar for the. Oops. This is not. Interesting. I guess we can directly import from there, but it doesn't feel ideal. That's at runtime. Okay, here we go. That's what we want. That's going to be server logs. Okay. Let's see if that's actually going to do anything for us. I've dropped a semicolon somewhere. But where? Doesn't seem there. This seems to be... Well, it seems to have a lot of errors. Why is that? Because I built the project or something? Oh, I've said call them devlogs. Okay, is this what this missing? No, this is expected. The nitro isn't showing any syntax errors. Here looks fine. Also, schema, fine. Okay, what is throwing that error? Jitty. Oh, it tells me. That's weird. Why is this? That's totally random. Okay. Why did that happen? I do not know. Okay, is that working? It is working. Okay, our normalizing of file names is not, however. Oh, because it's we were skipping some stuff in the stack, which is now not working because we have a different path, I think. So basically we have our normalization step here, and it was previously checking for for that, but we'll pull out runtime nitro. Well, this is actually next core. Nice. Okay, that's good. We're no longer normalizing the file name, so we're getting the full thing there, which is fine, I guess. Let's add a to-do. To-do, so we basically have to normalize for Vite and Webpack. So this normalizes for Vite. We also need to handle Webpack. The good news is if we don't do it, we don't actually have to inject anything at all. And in our server plugin, we still need to know the root directory. Why is that? For the file name. I wonder if we can log process.cwd. Yeah, that is actually going to be the CWD. I wonder if we can log... What can we get? We probably have to pass the file name in through a virtual file. Which is fine, we can do that. Okay, so this is what we're going to have to do. I'm going to have to go back into core. There, I guess. And we're going to have to add a virtual. So next options, nitro virtual. And we'll call it next config. That should mean we can import from it like this. Cool. Let's see if that works. Where are we using it? Extract file name from stack. Cool, that is fine. See if it works. So we'll know if it works if the file name that shows up, well, yeah, we'll know because it will complain. Okay, what is the problem? So are we not able to import this from build next config? It might be that we already have this, already have hash build as an alias. We'll say server logs and consider reworking that later. We'll try it like that. Ugh. Why is that not? Oh, I guess you just have to try and... For goodness sake. That's not quite good enough. Why would it not be being inlined? I'll just say server logs, because that will actually capture the file as well. And I just want to find out what the problem is. Not good enough? Okay, so they are showing up. The file name is being normalized. We want to normalize it, I guess, with a trailing slash. So oh, interesting. Cool. Okay, so that's working. Even our toasts are working, being imported, being implemented within the client side app, and that means we can. Well, okay, we can have a look at whether we normalize the file name for Vite purposes, and I think we. Let's just see what happens with Webpack. If we go into our playground and we set Webpack as our builder. What does it look like? Okay, we've got our we don't have the information, the stack. We also need to set this somewhere. Okay. Why is the stack not working for Webpack? Okay, let's not do any normalization in here. We shouldn't. Well, we're not doing any normalization, so it should just be displaying it. So why is it not? Let's set up Webpack. Oh, because the log on the server. Okay, so it basically, it's largely irrelevant in this particular case. So we basically need to support Webpack, but I don't think that's a reason not to support right now. So we'll just add, oops. Okay. Great. So that's fine, but we need to inject the root directory in the Vite base, and this one we actually can use this next config file name. Root directory, we have it here, dev root dir. And we also need to have what is that? That's the kind of thing I bet is exposed via an environment variable. I wonder if Vite does expose that. Oh, what's this? I wonder if Vite does expose an environment variable with its base path. Anyway, I can check that in a moment. Okay. We do need a Vite base, however. We can probably get the URL etc. from the window. I just feel it must exist. It must be present in the... That's still Webpack. Amazing work. Would you open an issue, Anurag? That's fantastic. It might even replace the work I was doing. Might be better even. So if you are able to just create an issue, I think he'll see that more than a discussion, and or a PR. But I'm very impressed. I think it looks really good. Go for it. Okay, we have dev root directory. What are we doing? Nice. Great. Feel free to tag both me and Puya on it. We're both very busy right now with the run-up to Vue.js Amsterdam, writing talks and so on. I would love to see that implemented. Like, it definitely is on my list of things to see implemented, so I would be delighted, really. Oh, we need to sort that out. I am going to need to go. It's been such a pleasure, but I have a call and I don't want to leave that person waiting. So I will, I'll pick up another time. Thank you everyone for joining me on what was a lot of fun to dive into some of these things. And let's see if there is a useful person we can dive into. Invem, website performance, and the Primogen. Should we raid the Primogen this time? And pause this. Yeah, hopefully I'll stream again before too much longer. If anyone is here in Vue.js Amsterdam, let me know. I would love to meet up. I will talk to you later.